Right, let's get on to the world famously bad predictions.
We hate all your teams.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got Leeds spot on last week, 10.
What do you want? Some kind of
Medal.
Trophy?
Like have you eaten all those
We don't
donuts that disappeared?
on the floor.
That in flask will do full up.
By the way, it's just like,
It's got some of that stones in it though, don't it?
London Broncos have been. They've noticed you've got the cup on there. They've been using our Facebook thing to plug their merchandise. The London Broncos.
Sale.
LondonBroncos.co.uk.
Come on, the Bronx.
I even got bought a pint yesterday. That was great. Yeah, great hospitality.
Not before.
Did I get any mention? Did they still want me to come down?
No, don't think so.
Okay.
Not
Don't
while
think
they're winning.
No,
Oh.
no. Only to throw stuff at you on the field. I think
That's a bit
that might have got mentioned.
To be honest.
Right, big game. Well, there's some big games in Super League this weekend. We kick off on Thursday night with the Yorkshire Derby. Castleford take on Hull. 7:45 start down at the Jungle. Both sides won last week. It's fourth at fifth. What do you think, Scully?
Well, all the Castleford players, they've got to start playing exactly like Liam Watts is doing. They've got to start getting them to the 8 and 9 out of 10 performance to beat Holden for me on Thursday night. And if they don't, I just feel as though Hull, this week, I think they'll turn the tap on. And I think they'll turn the tap on for a lot longer than what they've been doing in games over the last few weeks. I know they've been winning, but marginally winning, and they should have beaten Salford Country last week, but I just don't think Castleford are playing well enough. I don't think they'll get the performance like Liam Watts is doing from all the players from there, from 1 to 17. So I'm going for the black and whites. Forward dominating, Mark Sneed, good kicking game. Albert Kelly, rip him apart. I'm going the black and whites by 10.
Phil?
Darryl said, was it a fortnight ago, that effectively from mid-season to the end now it starts again, and that they needed to start putting things like the injury roster behind them, that more players were going to become available to them, and they needed to almost start the season anew. I'm not sure they did that from everything that we've heard about last week's game, that there was an element of fortune. I think they have to. I think, we talk about who's going to be dragged into what part of the table. I'm just not sure we could take Cass too seriously as a team that could win the competition, which ultimately is still their aim, if they don't beat Hull at home, having won narrowly at home to Huddersfield at this vital part of the season where you've got to start putting results together. I'm going to go with the fact that they probably will do that, so I'm going to go Cass by 8.
I'm thinking about tossing a coin on this one, but I'm going to go with the Tigers as well. I'm surprised they haven't scored as many points as you would have thought this year, but they have been defensively much better, and far better than Hull, who conceded 473, and Cass, who conceded 364. But I guess Hull have had those 2 or 3 games where they've conceded a ridiculous number of points, haven't they? But I'm still going to go with Cass, although it'll be interesting to see who is on winding up Liam Watts' duty. I will go for Castleford by 4.
Cass against Hull. Cass have got a few fixtures after this one. They've got London and I think Salford, London there next to, then Leeds, that they'll really think that they can win. So I think they'll see this as a real big turning point in their season. Hull got a Catalan next week, then they play Hull KR in the derby. We mentioned Hull in one week, out the other. I think they want to get the points this week to put a gap between themselves and the Tigers. I won't say they'll chuck it in going to Catalans because they won there early in the season. Not many have done that, and then they'll put it all in against Hull KR. I think this is a big game for Hull FC, and I think they'll be revved up. And Castleford have got to be better. If they play like they did last week, they won't win. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to go for Hull by 7. 7. Right, Leeds against Wigan, Friday night, Gary Schofield.
We're on the roll. We're on the roll. Oh,
Does 2 constitute a roll?
we're on absolutely. We're on the roll from there, and all right.
Are they playing for the Sean Wayne Trophy?
We can manage to get the 2 points against Kingston Rovers, but Leeds, they've got a bit of confidence back, and they've got that bit of spirit, and I'm sticking with him. As I said last week, I'm sticking with him against Wakefield from there. He's getting a tune out of him. He's his old Richie boy from there. So, I'm sticking with him. I can't go against him. And Wigan aren't that good, to be honest with you, from there. I feel as though Leeds, they're back at home. Should be a big crowd from there. Massive game, as we all know. These 2 are the biggest clubs in the game to there. I'm going Leeds. You've just mentioned Hull by 7, Mark, and I'm going. Even though Leeds are absolutely pathetic at setting up for drop kicks, I'm still going for Leeds, and I'm going Leeds by 7.
I think there were two encouraging things from a Leeds perspective at Wakefield. One is nilling opponents. Incredibly difficult to do in Super League, and I think it's the first time since 2006 that Leeds have nilled a team away from home. But I think more importantly was Richard Agar was talking about little wins and celebrate them, and that comes down to things like making the sort of tackle that Conrad Hurrell did on Ben Jones-Bishop, and the whole of the team coming over and congratulating him. It's little things like that that show a team is moving slightly in the right direction. For that victory against Wakefield to mean anything, Leeds have to back it up at home. So I'm going to go Leeds by 6, which won't surprise anybody.
It was like watching doubles tennis. You know, they cheer each other after every point.
Yeah. Even when they hit into the net about a foot off the floor.
Come on, lads. Come on.
What made it worse? It was Leeds.
It's called team spirit. Come on, it's called team spirit and enthusiasm.
And that is one of the things that Richard Agar has been stressing.
Correct.
Well, we like Richard Agar. I think he gets unfairly blamed for everything that's wrong at the clubs he's worked at, when usually it's somebody else's fault completely. Leeds are back. 2 in a row. Can't believe it. They're good now. I remember last week I said they were crap, but they're good now because they're beating Wakefield. Wigan are not back, are they? Yes, they've beaten Hull KR. I thought they would have won more comfortably, although...
What's up with Hardacre?
I don't know.
Didn't he leave the field injured?
Leeds looked...
And Sargent apparently was very good at fullback.
Maybe... You know, at the start of the season I thought Leeds would do well because they didn't lose too many players as opposed to Wigan, and maybe I obviously didn't realise how bad David Fernan would be as an appointment, and it does seem that Richard Agar has got the team gelled. See, when it's good it's Richard Agar, when it's bad it's Kevin Sinfield. So I will go with Leeds by... I'll go the same as Phil, I'll go Leeds by 6.
I think Leeds are going to win. I think
at this stage of the season, us having 2 days extra to prepare does mean something.
Tough game for Wigan at the weekend. It'll be tight. You know, I've got in my mind that 9-8. Was it 9-8 last year? I've got that. I think this has got a golden point, so I'm going for the draw. But in golden point, I think Leeds will win. So Leeds by 1.
Lola here with a 50-metre draw.
Well, I'm not bothered who kicks it. I think Leeds will win. I think they may have turned a corner.
4 of us are going for Leeds.
Yeah, that's it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Wigan.
Will that be the first time in 4 years?
Saints against Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, Huddersfield, they won that game last week against Cass, not just once, not just twice, 3 times, and still come away empty. And one place I don't want to go, that will be after getting a defeat against the bottom side in London. But having said that, London was absolutely outstanding, but St Helens, they'll be licking their wounds, and they'll be waiting for the Giants. Come Friday night, Justin Holbrook, I would imagine quietly, he would have been roasting his players from London back up to St Helens, and I would imagine he will be doing that all week, and he wants a response, and he will get a response, and I think it will be quite positive, and I'm going St Helens by 18.
If they can keep Gaskill quiet, who will want to clearly impress upon the club that initially let him go, then I think Saints will win. I think Holbrook was open-minded enough to say that result yesterday, although he would have preferred not to have had it, won't hurt them, and I think what he means by that is that you learn more at this stage of the season from your deficiencies than winning every week. I think you will take that onto the training field. I do like the way Simon Wolford is getting his team playing at the moment. They're hard to break down, which as a coach is what you'd want, but I just think that there's too much guile and speed at Saints, and they will win by 10.
St Helens will win.
Nigel Will said Saints would win last week.
Yeah, so we'll have all the Huddersfield fans will be having a go at us this week, so I'll look for the deluge of tweet.
Right, no, hold on. For any Huddersfield fans to have a go at us, should they lose on Friday night, right? Yeah. They need now to send in a message saying that they believe Huddersfield are going to win. So therefore, we can go, you're right and we were wrong. Rather than it's easy after the event to go, oh, you got it wrong. Well, what do you think?
I think all those people that backed Anthony Joshua to lose last week will be millionaires this week because they all rolled it over onto London Broncos. You can't believe it.
It's so easy.
Especially what would Saints have been minus 20 or something? I don't know.
16, I think.
16?
Yeah.
That's not bad. So I'm going for Saints to win. because they will bounce back. They will have brought some players back. Yes, they've got no James Roby, but they're still quite good. I've seen them on the telly, and they will win by 12.
Yeah, I like Huddersfield. I think they're a good, honest team, but I think that honesty only gets you so far. And I think a few of their deficiencies were showed up this week. They only lost by 6 in the cup. I think Huddersfield were fortunate, in my opinion. It was only 6. I think if Saints had turned it on, and I think following a defeat, there will be an expectation, despite the fact it's a 5-day turnaround, that they'll kick on. I think Saints will win quite easily. I think they'll win by 22. Right, Catalans against London. Gary.
Yeah, well, London, as I say, as we all know what happened, St Helens, brilliant from there. The Catalans, they're back at home. McNamara's been looking for this for the last few weeks from there. Can London maintain it? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's one of them. This is the fixture where Danny Ward has ticked the boxing from there. So it's quite simple for me for the Catalan Dragons. Drop Matty Smith, put Lange at number 6, plenty of service to the outside backs. The forwards will lay the foundation, and I think the Catalans will win by 20.
I again think that you're right when you say that coaches are astute enough to look at the battles they can win as opposed to necessarily the ones.
Play Hull KR the week after.
That's the game.
Yeah.
And
At London.
And I think they'll look at who Hull KR are playing and think, well, the likelihood is that they'll probably lose. And I just think the effort that they will have expended to beat St Helens, again, on a very short turnaround to fly out to Catalan. Steve McNamara has said, we want the home comforts. Well, you've got to show that you deserve them this week. You've got to go out there and play particularly well in front of your own crowd and keep yourself in that top 3. So I'm going to go Dragons by 12.
It's one of those games, I've gone for a number, but I can easily see Catalans winning this by 2 points or something, just sneaking a win somehow. But as you say, London have got bigger fish to fry. Catalans back at home. They want to show that the last 2 weeks have been just a blip, and we know what they're like at home. I'll go for Catalans by 14.
You just can't overestimate the importance of that game the following Thursday. London have to beat Hull KR, in my opinion. It's as simple as that.
And the fact that it is a Thursday as well.
It's a Thursday night. They're coming back from Catalans. I think if you said to Danny Ward, you lose by 30, but everyone will be fully fit, he'd go, well, that'll do. We won't bother going. He'd take that now.
Yeah.
Points difference could be crucial. They won't want to get battered. I'm sure Catalan will have a few missing this week. I can't believe they'll be as bad as they were in the second half. I think they'll win. Catalans, I'm going to say by 30. And that's not saying London aren't any good. I think now, if you said to Danny Ward, you can lose this week and win the week after, he'd go, that'll do me. I'll take that right now. They don't have to beat Catalan. What they do is they have to beat Hull KR, so I think they'll get beat. I'll go Catalans by 30. I don't want that to be true, by the way, but that's what I'm saying. Hull KR Warrington also on Saturday at 3 o'clock. The legend.
Yep, big game as well, and as we know, Tony Smith against the Warrington Wolves. 9 years he spent there at Warrington, but Hull KR, quite simple, they can't find a way to win, and I can't see them finding a way to win against Warrington neither. And they're closing the gap. They're only 4 points behind. Yeah, we're tipping St Helens will beat the Giants, so that'll go back to 6-0. Warrington will keep it going. Hull KR can't find a way to win. They will not win. Warrington, yeah, they've got all the big players. They're in form. They'll carry that on. And I'm going Warrington by 14.
I think Hull KR know that they can trouble Warrington because they did within the last 20 minutes of the cup game between the two of them. But the first hour, Warrington were ridiculously dominant. I think the Tony Smith impact against the first of his former clubs that he'll come up against, it will have an effect. And I think much of it depends on whether Danny Maguire's shaken off his pulled calf in training and can play. If he can't, I can't see Hull KR winning because I just don't think they've got the firepower. So we're predicting this without knowing the squads. Warrington will probably just edge it maybe by 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hull KR won this game.
We didn't really get a chance to speak about Tony Smith, did we? It's a bit of a surprise that he's taken this job when there are other bigger jobs out there, it seems. But maybe just wanting a challenge.
Maybe he's putting himself in the shop window for those bigger jobs.
For next season, yeah, perhaps. But nothing's really changed. They still lost for the weekend. And Warrington are quite good, as we said earlier. They might even win Super League this year. So I'm going to go for Warrington to win by 18 points.
One of two outcomes. Warrington go win by 30, blow them off the field. I'm not so convinced that they will away from home. I'm with you. I've got a sneaky feeling here, and we're all of a sudden we're in that result last week. As they'll be talking this week, like it or not, Hull KR, they'll be talking about playing for their futures now, and that'll be getting mentioned. And don't forget, we've been here before. We start this week. I'm going to give Hull KR a chance. I think Hull KR might win. I do. I think they might win. I think. We saw who's it getting treatment on his hamstring. Didn't seem to affect him when he scored the try, did it, Austin? But I just wonder. I think we see how tough Hull KR are this week, and if they come out and play and win, then you've got to say fair enough. They've got a habit of shooting themselves in the foot. They could have and should have beaten, in my opinion, Warrington in the cup the other week. They either get blown away or they win. I'm going to say they win. They win by 2. And the big one, Salford Wakefield Sunday.
Yeah, well, Ian Watson's already mentioned it's round about attitude from the Salford Red Devils, and if I'm honest with you, for Wakefield, I'm keeping it short and sweet for Wakefield. I'm not having them. I'm just simply not having Wakefield Trinity. I'm not. I think they're kidding themselves at the they can challenge for Old Trafford. Totally kidding themselves. I'm not having them. Salford Red Devils, they come out with the right attitude, and I'm sure they will do after last weekend's performance, even though they only got beat by 3 points. Watson wasn't happy. They'll want to put up a show. I think this will be easy for the Red Devils. I'm going Salford by 20.
Woohoo! Both teams have got to stop the rot. Again, we don't know what the respective 19s are going to be. We suspect that the Sal Pauly loan exchange will see them playing against the clubs that they've just been guesting for, but it seems as though, again, Chris Chester's someone we all admire. I think we enjoy being in his company. We like what he says. He seemed a bit tetchy on Friday night, the first time I've ever seen it for a while, that he was almost annoyed with his team because he felt that they had made chances but they didn't have the ability to take them. But he also mentioned as well that they'd come up with more injuries, that Ashurst looks like he's going to be out. Who was the other player that he said they might have lost?
Yeah, I think Batchelor got mentioned, yeah.
So I just think at the moment Wakefield are in that horrible place where they can't get a settled team out there. I'm going to give Salford the last chance to cling on to the 5 this week rather than look down below them. So I'm going to go Salford by 10.
I'm going to go Wakefield by the same number, but Junior Sal will probably score a hat-trick, having failed to score the same against Leeds on Friday. At least they created chances against Leeds. That's what Chris Chester said. But I think it's 3 defeats in a row now. Not good. Things looking a lot different.
Is it 3 or 4 Super League defeats in a row?
Oh, I can't remember. It's too many.
I think 4 including the cup.
Too many. And
4 including the cup.
They need to win, and they're not going to have a better opportunity, especially with Warrington away the week after, than at Salford this week, because otherwise it becomes a bit of a slump. I remember our friend Andy Kelly got sacked after 5 defeats in a row at Wakefield by a crap regime. Look what happened to them. I was going to say worse, but I thought it's still libel laws and stuff. So Wakefield will win by 10, but this is a massive game. I'm not going to be there, but I hope it's better than that game when I commentated on the other year with John Davison, because that was. They
have chucked in a few stinkers at Salford, Wakefield. I do want them to win, but I'm with you. I think they might struggle. They need a win. It's one of them. If they get a win, they're all right. If they don't get a win, then, like you said, next week it's like, oh well, yeah, where is the next win coming from? I'm giving Salford one more chance. Salford by 4. That's it. We've done.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't upset the Salford fans this week now by all but me tipping them to win.
I'm sure we'll upset
someone. Well, we'll have upset someone, I've no doubt. Thanks to you for watching, listening. Share, retweet, whatever. We'll see you next week. If we're wrong, we're wrong, but we'll be back next Monday.
The thing is, we want to be wrong. It's called uncertainty of outcome.
No, I want to be right.
No, we want to be wrong. We want to be able to not predict.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, but you can still predict them right. Anyway, we'll have an argument elsewhere. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
Hi everyone over in the UK. Well, I'm here to tell you that come October this year, I'll be travelling to the UK to do a week-long talking tour. I'll be talking about everything in my life, my rugby league career, how I started and, of course, how I finished this year. I'll be travelling to Leeds, St Helens, Hull and Doncaster to do live events. Go to rmsportsevents.co.uk to get all the information. I'll also be playing a couple of games of rugby league against an old foe of mine, Adrian Morley. The events also support Life for a Kid. Can't wait for it. It's going to be great fun. I love the UK. See you in October.